Hey guys, my name is Katrina.
My name is Daria.
And today we have a special podcast. Today we have our dear friend, amazing woman, beautiful person, Krystyna.
It is such an honor to be here. It is my first podcast ever, and doing it with my friends means so much to me. I'm really honored.
And right now, Krystyna is also involved in social work and provincial politics. So that's a fantastic mix for you. So we're proud of that.
I guess I have a lot of free time.
But you have to make it free time.
And that's exactly how this works. Actually, fix people around me that are making my life so hard, so difficult. And
You took my life and explained why I have a problem. And I was like, okay, whoa.
And you realize that now you have enough knowledge and experience to actually help others.
I will do it because I love it. And being here today is a huge one for me. Thank you for that challenge.
This is an old challenge.
No, but we
This is not project.
we had a pilot. We called it a pilot. Yeah, we call it
The
pilot.
zero.
That's a lot more work, I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
it requires a lot more experience, I would say.
To one person or speaking to a group of 10, it feels very different because 10 eyes are on you. And of course...
Hope not then.
Yeah.
So yes, feel free to follow, to like, to share. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thank
Let's
you.
expand our network. Everyone, so follow us everywhere as well. Please put some likes, comment everything you want.
Hey guys, my name is Katrina.
My name is Daria.
And today we have a special podcast. Today we have our dear friend, amazing woman, beautiful person, Krystyna.
Krystyna is doing one-on-one counseling, and she's also providing a group therapy sessions. And right now, Krystyna is also involved in social work and provincial politics. So that's a fantastic mix for you. So we're proud of that. Krystyna, so my question for you is, and the theme for this podcast is, how does this all flow together in your life? How do you enjoy politics, social work, and doing also counseling and group therapy sessions?
First of all, I want to say thank you so much, ladies. It is such an honor to be here. It is my first podcast ever, and doing it with my friends means so much to me. I'm really honored. Back to the question, how it all flows in my life. I guess I have a lot of free time.
But you have to make that free time.
And that's exactly how this works, actually. I do make time for a lot of things, and first of all, it's my 9 to 5, which is social work and politics, and after hours and also weekends, it's usually my counseling gig, and I think that's my favorite one too.
Do you feel like it's your hobby, since it's as you're saying, it's like your
Gig.
weekend gig?
Yeah.
You even refer to it like a gig.
I can't call it a hobby. I love it too much to call it a hobby, but time-wise, I think it takes a little less time than regular work, yeah.
I always wanted to ask you a question. How did you get into psychology, into therapy yourself first?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't that day when I was enjoying my life and was laying down on the beach and having everything figured out. It happened when I felt like there was a crisis in my life, and it was a very difficult situation in my personal life when first time ever I felt like I don't have control over things, and I felt lost, I felt stuck, I felt like I can't come up with an idea how to fix it. And so at the end of it, I kind of shared with some of my close friends, and one of the friends said, oh, well, I'm seeing this therapist, and she's actually really helpful. Like, she kind of helped me figure things out. Do you want to try her? And I said, why not? Yeah, I felt like at that point I was down to do things, and I was like, yeah, I'll give her a call, and I'll pay for a few sessions, and I'll see how that goes for me. And it was pretty great, but I have to admit my first session with her was really hilarious as I look back at it, because the reason why I actually went to see her is I thought she'll give me some tips and tricks how to, fix people around me that are making my life so hard, so difficult. And, she's just going to give me a few advices and I'm just going to take them and like use them in my life and everything will be fixed and easy again. And slowly, I realized it wasn't about other people. It was actually about me and my problems and how I feel about things in life and how I feel about different people. And it was actually have to do with my feelings. And I guess after third, fourth session, I figured out that I have to finally face it and do something with it. And then I think I started paying attention to my inner world more, to things that were important to me, to my feelings, to my emotions, to how I react to things, to how I react to people, how people make me feel, how I make feel other people. And it all became like a big system that truly kind of opened up myself towards other people. And I felt like my connections became really deep and more open and interesting, and also like enriched in so many different ways. And that's how I dived into it. And I guess a lot of people come to therapy when they face a challenge. I think it's very normal because when everything's fine, you will never bother and think of, psychology or like
True.
mental health. And for example, before that situation happened in my life a few years ago, could never imagine like even talking to a psychologist or like learning anything about it. I was so like, oh, this is like a different world. Like there's no way I can be interested in that, and then see how it goes. Sometimes you never expect things to happen.
Krystyna was actually the person when I had my crisis. She was the one who suggested me help. You didn't like give me the answer I needed at that time, but you gave me the instruments I needed at that time. Because everyone was suggesting, oh, you know what? Drink alcohol, do drugs, like smoke weed or something.
Just relax.
Just
yeah.
forget about it. Yeah, relax your brain. And Krystyna was the one. I was doing yoga, but Krystyna was the one. You sent me the video of like a psychologist that actually just like that video. It took my life and explained why I have a problem, and I was like, okay, whoa, I can do something about it, because before that I was feeling desperate that there's nothing I can do, and I was feeling very upset. So I'm very thankful, and I totally agree with you that it's like the crisis that makes us reassess our life and reassess how we like even see the life right now that we have right now.
Yeah, that's very true. At what point you realized that at first you started as a client and then you switched to helping others? So at what point like you switched and you realized that now you have enough knowledge and experience like to actually help others?
So I was a fan of a psychologist that I felt like everything that she was doing, all the therapy and all the information that she was sharing was actually what I needed. Like it worked so well for me. I've, got rid of so many different problems that I had in life, and I felt like I'm evolving, I'm progressing. I felt so empowered. I felt like I can really do things that I want to do in life. And one day she kind of posts a thing on her stories and she says, oh, I'm about to open up an academy and I'm going to teach psychologists of new generation. And I was like, no way in life I'm missing this. Like there's just no chance. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care what's in it. I just want I just want to get more information. I want to get more into psychology. I want to learn more tools and I want to dive deep in this. I was so excited and it meant so much to me that I didn't think for a second. As soon as she posted that and as soon as there was an option to pay for it, it took me 30 seconds to make that transaction. And ever since, even before school started that year, I felt like my life had changed so much. I felt like there was just different vibes, different energy. I felt more open. I felt like a lot of new things are to come in my life, and that made me very happy. And how I switched to counseling myself. So part of the school process in general was actually doing therapy for other students. So in order for us to get a diploma, you have to complete a certain hours of therapy work with other students. So you have to practice, and without practicing, you're not graduating. So after about 50 therapy hours, I felt like I was pretty good. And I realized the more I do therapy, the more useful it becomes to people because I get more experience and I see things really fast and I kind of get the vibes and feelings and emotions from different people. And it just became easier and easier for me to kind of like open it up and show a person, different side of things and show them how it really is from the other side when you look at it. And I think I enjoyed it so much that I eventually thought, I don't know if I'll make money on this, if I will, if it will be my business, if it will be a gig or whatever it be, I will do it because I love it. And that's how it was. So we had about, I want to say, over 300 students in my class. It was a huge class. It was online learning.
That's a lot of
all
people.
of that, yeah, all of them were my potential clients.
Okay, so you could
Yeah.
counsel each other.
We
Okay.
did counsel each other, yeah. And with that counseling, I think we've actually helped each other so much because you can pretty much come to like another student. We set up a session and they come to them. And sometimes you talk about things that are not like very critical in your life, but you actually get time and opportunity to talk about things that may not be very urgent, but they are kind of bothering you a little bit. And once you open it up and when you talk about it more, you realize, oh, this part of me also needs attention.
Yeah.
Like I have to work with that part of it too. And so after like 50 to 100 hours that we've done both ways with each other, I think all of us felt pretty confident, and many of us actually started our own practice.
I remember the point when you had like a separate account and like
Yeah.
it was like kind of very like on a side thing. And then
Yeah.
at some point you switched actually to just one page and it became like your baby, I would say. And you like now put all energy and efforts and everything towards this page and it flourishes, of course. But my question now is, even though you did the hours and then you had it on the side, at what point you realized that now it's actually you need to put more energy and like more attention to this and like and you stopped separating that from yourself, so it became like a bigger part of you.
Yeah. I think that was a step I was thinking about for a very long time because my original bigger Instagram account had everything that I loved. I think it was about like photo shoots. It was about traveling. It was about social issues, social justice. It was about politics. It was about everything that I cared for. But at the same time, I once asked myself a question. What am I doing with it? Like, where am I getting with this Instagram account? And I knew that I put in so much time into writing all the posts and preparing photos and all of that. And then I realized that I'm not going to make money from this. Like, just sharing thoughts and not being able to offer any services through it is not going to get me anywhere. And so I think closer to the end of school, I realized that I'm almost ready to do it and kind of like make that announcement to the world that here I am. This is a different side of me, and this is what I'm gonna do because I love it the most out of all the other things, and that is the most important thing for me. And I felt like other parts of me I can also show in a way in my new account, but it is not what I want to have as a main message from me to other people. And it kind of like, it was very scary in the beginning, I'll be honest, because from like having 2,500 followers, I now had like 30. And I try to invite other people, like people from previous account to like the new one. But then a lot of people, like they weren't following. It wasn't their thing. And my main goal with the new account was to make sure that every person that's there, they actually care for this. They actually want to know more about their mental health, about their, inner world and like emotions and feelings and all of that stuff. So it kind of, I wasn't running after like numbers of followers. I was running after my authentic self and people that resonate with it. And I think that was the most important. And now when I look at my following, it is like 740 followers, but 30% of these people actually watch every single of my stories that I post.
That's a lot.
And I get so much feedback in my direct messages. and people write to me all the time, and I know that it, they really care for it, and I really care for it, and that's what makes it so special for me. And I never regretted it. I just want to grow this one now, of course.
But did you have any barrier like inside you to open up and like to, how you said, to manifest it and like say that here I am, that's me right now. So it was part of you, but now it's like a bigger part. So was it like inside of you that was stopping you from this? What was there like a thought or something that was holding you first, and then you like overcame it somehow?
Yeah, I'm thinking how it happened, but it was really challenging, I think, because also psychology is a very tricky thing. Not a lot of people take it for what it was, and I think I really understand what it means to me. It's empowerment, and to me is knowing yourself and knowing the world better through therapy. That's how it works for me. I think I spoke about it with my close friends. They supported me a lot. I think I spoke about it to my therapist also, and I did therapy because I mean it's scary. Like it is scary because it wasn't just a thing that I was gonna try out. I knew I'm going like
All in.
yeah, all in, and I really wanted it. And it did take steps. I think talking about it, acknowledging the fact that it's really hard for you and that you're scared is really helpful. It's like as soon as you acknowledge your fear, you're like halfway through it. And I think just mental work around the issue and around the fact that I'm going to have to do it regardless I want it or not, but it's like inside me. I need to let it out.
That's very cool. I love it how you said that you first need to acknowledge this, because I think a lot of us and a lot of time what we do, we find excuses. We do not acknowledge that it's actually the fear that stops us. Yeah, that it's the fear of public speaking, or to look ridiculous in front of, I don't know, friends and actually close ones or not so close ones. And then once you acknowledge that you actually have this fear inside of you, then it's actually empowers you even more. I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think a lot in our life revolves around fears because we would have done so many different things if we weren't scared, right? Like I would probably be doing something else also, like just taking the skills that I have and maybe like doing something bigger with it. But I take it one step at a time, and I realize that yes, there's a lot of fears that surround me, but at the same time, I just want it so badly. And also at the same time, I want to be gentle with myself. Like I don't want to, put too much pressure on myself because I've done that in my past career and I'm not up to it again. Like I want to be delicate and gentle and give myself as much time as possible, but also take it very seriously and know that it will eventually happen, what I dream of and like what my bigger goals are. It takes time, and I'm okay with it to take time. And that kind of calms me down, that I look at every step I take and I appreciate every step I take. And even being here today is a huge one for me. Thank you for that challenge. Yeah, just being, I think, and like experiencing the fact that you're actually on the path and every step you take kind of like makes you almost grow, and you like physically feel it, how you like get bigger and like more confident and more down to earth and more like, I'm really doing this. Whatever I can this very moment is what I'm doing.
I think that's how we started our challenge when Daria and I first. Yeah. This
is the old challenge.
No, but we like
this is not project.
No, but at first when we just started, we had a pilot. We called it a pilot. Yeah, we call it pilot.
Zero.
We actually we had no expectations. We had no idea where it's going.
But we had script.
Yeah, but we had a script. The first thing that I actually acknowledged and I said when we started, I was like, hey, we love challenges and we love talking. So we decided to make something out of it. And it is a challenge, like especially at first. And when the first pilot was a script, it was so tense. We were so like I'm not saying that I'm super relaxed right now, of course not, and I'm still nervous. But the first one, when you compare it, like the pilot and then the first one and the second one, like you can see how like this is still a challenge, but you grow and you feel this confidence, and like it empowers. I think we empower each other even like during this, because after that, like we would watch and we would comment on each other like, oh my God, look at this, you look awesome, I love the light, I love this, I love this and that, I like this piece. And like I think it empowers, like I hope it's gonna empower more people than just each other.
That is, I just want to say, as soon as you say that it empowers, like I literally feel like, okay, we're in this. Like this is really happening and it's actually empowering us. The word is really powerful. As soon as you say something, like it actually like opens up in so many different ways, and it's very beautiful.
Brings energy.
Thank you.
We're building
Hi.
society, private society.
I think community is
Oh,
a little bit
it's
overused.
overused.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah?
do any communities
Yeah,
anymore.
we don't like community anymore. We wanted to be community, but then we saw everyone doing community, so we're just like, no, we're doing
Okay,
society.
society.
So we want to build private society of women, and we also like we share these values that you have, that we actually want to have women who genuinely care and who are involved like emotionally in our in our material and the information that we provide, instead of just having tons of followers. And
Yeah, like you said, it's mostly like quality over quantity. It's like
Yeah.
you don't have like a lot of following, right? And
Yeah.
you still have like a 30%. You said like someone could say, well, it's a little, but it's a lot once you know how you work hard towards
Yeah.
this. It's a lot for
and
sure.
I would argue that 750 people on a business page instead
Yeah,
of like
exactly.
it's not like your private account when you just share like this is my traveling plans,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
this
yeah.
is what I do, this is how I decorate, or this is how I get ready in the morning. So like the content that is more for fun,
Yeah.
you're actually doing like building business out
Yeah.
of your Instagram account. So it's more like it's difficult to have this much following and this much involvement in
And
your
to
content.
sustain it.
Yeah, so you're doing great. It's like I wouldn't say it's like that little of the following that it's actually also, if you look at the perspective that those are your potential leads who will go
That's a
into
lot.
one-on-one counseling, and who will go to those group sessions. So
Yeah.
it's a bravo for you.
Thank
Very proud of
you. I also recently I heard someone say this. Whenever you look at that numbers of people who watch your stories, just imagine that crowd standing in front of you.
Right.
Like imagine 200 people like standing there and just like watching you. It's not that little. Like
That's
it
a
feels
lot.
good, and that's real. Those are real people. Those are people that we talk to, and those are people that share their life stories and their challenges and like some of their traumas. And it actually has huge impact both ways for me and for
Yeah.
them. And I think I don't think it's little. I think it's pretty good. And in general, I think a lot of people tend to think opposite. They usually think about what they don't have. Oh, why don't I have 1 million followers? Why don't I have like 100,000 followers? Whereas if you put in whatever you got in what you have now and like give it all to them as your followers, as your potential clients, as someone who, just wants to know a little bit more about you, it becomes very different interaction. It becomes very real rather than just transactional. Yeah.
Cool. I think we also spoke about the thing about the communities. It's just because we mentioned it, and I wanted to bring it up again.
Okay.
Daria said that I told her, look, like another girl that I know, she started the community like yesterday. And Daria said, well, yeah, then probably this is because there is demand. And now there is a lot of supply coming like to this. So because people, I would say women need these communities, and they need because even you just recently started group sessions. Why actually you started counseling one-on-one a long time ago, and only right now you're going into the group therapy?
I want to say it's very different. Like it feels very different when you have one-on-one and you talk about the person's issues and you can respond to them right away and they can respond to you. So it's more of an interaction that is not in any way generic. Like it's very personal. Whereas group, you have to really feel the feels. Like you have to understand what demands and needs of each individual are and try to group it into like a specific practice or meditation and understand how what you're offering could help each one of them. And first of all, obviously it is for example, speaking to one person or speaking to a group of 10, it feels very different because 10 eyes are on you. And of
I
course,
hope not then.
yeah. And of course, it does take building that confidence to open up to, I guess, that capacity. Because even energy-wise, um, it's much easier to like have an interaction with one person than a group. And energy-wise, you like as a therapist, you have to be in charge of what's happening during the session and what's said. You have to react, and you have to be very attentive. You have to notice things. You have to ask the right questions. And it's no longer with one person, it's with a group, and all of them are equally important. So you have to have that capacity of like having your attention in every little corner of the group to understand maybe their body language, like their facial expressions, how they're feeling, and things like that. So it's a lot more work, I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
it requires a lot more experience, I would say.
Yeah, and so as I had more and more and more and more clients, and I understood and learned a lot more things from my experience with clients, I felt like I can actually do it. And so I tried. Like again, I'm very gentle with myself, right? I went first 3 people, then 5 people, then I think max was like 6 people. To this point, it will grow, I promise. But taking those little steps and just being very attentive to your clients, but also how you feel while, doing therapy with them, and how you feel with every interaction that's growing, and just like noticing things. That level of attention is critically important for you to grow in the very integral way where you're still very connected to yourself, and you know that the quality of work that you do with your clients doesn't go down.
I really thought it's easier to do group sessions.
Me too. That's why I asked. Like,
Yeah.
you could have done it like a long time ago.
'Cause I thought, like, as you said, like you were trying to be more generic in the sense that your session has to apply to different people, and you will consider the individual needs and demands. You're getting a group of people who pretty much have the same question they're struggling with.
Yeah.
When you're doing one-on-one sessions, you have to go deeper into a person's feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
But when you're doing the group session, you can stay at that surface level and not go too deep. So that's what I thought. Like, why is it like it could be easier? But it's actually how you said, like you actually have to consider so many people at the same time. So it becomes
I hear
more
you.
challenging.
It might look like that from the outside. I can tell you the last group session that I had, there were very different people, completely different people with different, like, levels of being connected to themselves, and like different levels of trauma. Sometimes like people have really like horrible traumas that make them live a very difficult life. And we had one of those people in our session, and I could tell that it is so much harder for her, and yet she's still there, and she's still doing it, and she's still doing the best she can. And that really, to me, was an eye-opener that it is not every single person will be with like equal, questions or equal requests from therapy. We're so different. Like there's no freaking way in the world that people will all, be on the same level, or will want exactly the same thing and things in life. From the outside, it might look like, yes, we all want the same, but at the same time, we're quite like tricky individuals. So it's really hard to figure out. And individual therapy is one-on-one, very deep, very effective, very fast, but at the same time it's the only one person, and that's all you have to focus on. Like it's not hard. Like for me, it is not hard. Whereas group, we can say it's more on the surface, but at the same time, in group sessions, people do share a lot of deep stuff too. Like I don't encourage them, I don't engage them, but if they feel like it's appropriate and this is what they want to say in the moment, they'll say it. And the entire group will feel it. Like I will feel it, the group will feel it, and sometimes it's really tough. So you can't really like, it's not Mario, like you don't know what game you're playing. You just know like the format, that's what it is. But at the same time, people will surprise you in so many different ways. And I think that's the beauty of therapy, because we can't really predict things. People are scared of therapists and they think, oh, you can read this person so easily. I don't believe in that. I think we're way too tricky and way too like
complicated.
undiscovered yet to think that it's so easy to understand another person. If you hear their emotions, if you hear their feeling, you will understand them. But if you're thinking from here and trying to, just level on the level of mind, then it's kind of just you're guessing. That's all you're doing.
I thought that during group therapy, it's actually very difficult to share because there are like other people that are not very concerned about your life and like they don't care and they come with different energy. So because again, one-on-one, you have one person who is right now like involved like with this discussion and it's easier because you already met that person before and like it's easier to discuss things. And then during group therapy, it's actually because I participated in one of them online and I just want to share my feelings that it was like I shared anyways, but only after I realized that it's actually a safe space. And because at first I had a feeling that people that I've never seen them before and now I have to share like what I feel, what I saw, what I like my energy like is like right now. And I thought, okay, so I'm here, there's a therapist here, so they need something if they're like in the group therapy, so probably there's a need for them to hear something that I would say maybe. So this is happening and like because this is my experience right now and I want to share, so I kind of had a little barrier and then I moved like into this. And once you go with the flow, it becomes more easy, like it's easier to discuss things. And then when you listen to others, it actually can surprise you. To be honest, I was surprised when I heard like others because for some reason I thought that, okay, so everyone is, on a positive note because we're here. It's like a nice day and like we started all smiling and stuff like that. And then once you hear something negative, you're like, oh, so this person is actually like in a different space right now, completely different than yours. And I think it's very good to to do one-on-one and group therapy just so you can get the perspective. Because once you're one-on-one, it's like you're like in a bubble, right? Because you think that you know this and like we've talked about
It's very interesting that you say it right now because last time we talked, you said, oh, it's so easy to share like your feelings with a stranger. And this is why when I went to the retreat, you're like, yeah, of course that woman told you those things because it's so easy to share with stranger. But now you're being in a group therapy.
Because last time I didn't participate in a group therapy. Okay. Last time I was talking just from my imagination because Daria, she had experiences with group therapy, with group yoga classes, retreats and stuff like that. And I haven't. And then Dara said, oh, someone shared, I shared. I was like, of course you share. Like, you're there to share. Like, I mean, yeah, of course you share. Again, because I have never experienced this. And I thought it's going to be like so easy and like everyone is like on the same level or whatever. Yeah. And then once I participated in that and I saw the perspective and I saw that everyone coming with their different thing, experience, energy, like mood and stuff like that, I was like, oh wow, okay. So it's not always butterflies and like epiphanies and stuff like that. So sometimes like it's just not working or it's just working in a different way.
I want to talk about group therapy a little bit and for in terms of safe space, and like let them know that, hey, I'm here for you, like whatever's happening, we'll do it together as a group, as you and I, whatever way you're comfortable with, we'll do it. In terms of group therapy, I think first of all it opens an individual up to knowing others in a very different way, because sometimes we're just kind of like with our close ones, with our loved ones, with our friends and all of that, and then it's all good, but the world is so much bigger and it is so much more interesting, and different feelings and different vibes and different energies and different processes that are taking place in other person. They are like being curious about it, what gets me going and what kind of like pushes me to go into it and ask questions and discover and learn and see how incredible it could be from whatever difficult scenario you're coming from, or whatever difficult family relationships you're coming from. There always is a huge potential for you to grow and uncover, all the beautiful things about you. And therapy is about really kind of like diving deep into your inner world and just falling in love with it, whatever and whenever you're from. And I think that experience just learning about how different people could be, it is an eye-opener, just like you said.
I think that's why experience kicks in, because if you don't have experience and like you see that something is going outside of your control, then you can lose track of what's happening.
Yeah.
But once you have experience, now I can see why the group therapy is more difficult actually.
In this
Instead of
conversation, we
yes,
understood why.
exactly. Because again, I
Yeah.
thought it's so much easier, but right now I see that it requires a lot more experience from
Yeah.
you to keep it together, because people are coming from different worlds
Backgrounds.
and backgrounds and stuff like that. So you need to be so gentle, because they're like, even if I'm speaking to you right now and another person is just listening, I still need to consider them as well, because you can hurt them in some way. So you need to consider everyone at the same time, even though you're talking just to one person.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I also want to say that group therapy, in its generic and a more original way, it is actually the same group of people that meets over and over.
Oh,
Sometimes it could be like 3 months, a year time. So it really is a group that works together for a very long time. And if they meet every week, they get familiar with each other very much. And they really not just know each other like friends or like buddies. They actually know about each other's struggles, and they become really close, and they're there in that space to hold that space for each other's healing and progress and evolving. And those group therapies are different. It really depends on what type of it you kind of try, but lengthy ones are always there.
It's so much deeper than I thought of it before. It's actually like what you told right now. It's very interesting, like what you said right now. It's very interesting, like a perspective that you actually you literally create that safe space with the same group of people, and they join this journey with you when even your close friends wouldn't even share the same journey.
Yeah.
Even they're there, like your friends are there, you have fun, you hang out during weekends, but that group therapy part of your life, it's actually what drives your journey. That's very cool. It's very deep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to take a moment to appreciate group therapy. That's very interesting. I also wanted to say what I liked about the group therapy session is that, and we talked about it together. We talked about it before, that it actually widens your perspective. So instead of narrowing down what you like your vision, it's actually expands your vision.
Exactly, yeah.
Not only by knowing other people's experiences, but also, I don't know, I'm gonna sound weird right now, but energy wise, you also feel like you are expanding as well when you have other people present.
Yeah.
And by sharing their experience, you feel like you are growing at that time.
Yeah, it's like enrichment as well
Enrichment,
for yourself. Yeah, true.
Abundance.
Okay, so I want to just ask one last question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you recommend to someone who is just in the beginning of their journey, not psychology-wise, but who is trying to open up and open up to the world and say, hey, here I am, I'm doing this, or I'm starting this? What would you say, 3 steps? So I figured that acknowledgement is very important. What 2 other things you would say are very important in the beginning? What someone can do?
To start that account.
Yeah.
To manifest that account.
Yeah,
Go there.
Yeah, or to
To
switch the
meditate
job.
looking on that account. I think the biggest thing in anything that you were trying to do is networking. I cannot tell you enough how many times networking got me a better job, got me a better position, got me a better salary, got me better of everything. including this. Like, I would have never been in a podcast if I did not know you guys. Okay. So whatever we take, like whatever, situation or opportunity we take in life, it always comes from people. Opportunity doesn't come from a computer. Like opportunity doesn't come from something that's not alive. I always look at people as everything, really. Like everything comes from them. You cannot sell your product or your service to someone who is not a human being, right? So in order for you to do that, you have to really have that network that helps you just connect with more people. And as you continue and you keep building those networks, it really shows how many people you know and how many people you can ask for favors, how many people you can rely on. And obviously it's both ways. It's never one way. You have to kind of be in a relationship and support it. But just at, looking at different opportunities, it could be something that costs no money. For example, when I was promoting one of my events, I just reached out to some people on Instagram and I said, hey, can you reshare my, my post or my reel or whatever? And it was like direct advertisement that I didn't pay for. And all of their followers saw the information that I wanted other people to see. And it is purely because we have a connection that I can, I feel confident and comfortable reaching out to them and asking them for a favor. And I always say, hey, you want me to, promote your account, or you'll have you're working on a service that you'll be, you want me to promote in the future, for example. I'll always do that. And being open in a way to say, hey, I'm here for you, it kind of automatically makes the other person available for you as well. So when you think of that and how you create those relationships and how you meet with people means so much, because every single person you meet on Instagram, every person that DM'd you, they could be something so much bigger than just that. And taking an opportunity and really talking to people, opening yourself up in a way to say, hey, this is my goal. I want to do this. I would appreciate some help. And some people will come along out of nowhere and they will help you. Like, for example, I sometimes don't get, maybe I get a little less clients that I would want. But at the same time, the engagement and the energy, and some people will give gifts, offer me some stuff for free, and I'd be like, yo, this is really working.
I like
it. Really
it.
working, yeah. And networking is that your support base, really. We look at support base as our parents, our loved ones, our partner, whatever. No, our support base could be anyone you ask help from. Because if you know how to ask, a person will have difficulty saying no to you. They'll be fine helping you. And then you do it for them, and it's just growing into a relationship that could be anything, really. And the last one is you'll have to work for free for a little bit, in the beginning. I think we all have to take that as a norm, but at the same time, also know when to stop and stop giving services for free and kind of grow it into something that brings money in. And I think it's about maybe one session, one touch with someone, one time you invited a person to try your product. And always, always never be shy to ask for feedback, never be shy to tag you on stories, never be shy to ask of them something that they could give you in return for what you've offered them. So it has to be both ways, and it's okay. Don't just give it and be like, hey, see you later, alligator in a couple of years. No, I need a return now, because I am serious about it and I want to grow it and I want to be involved in it myself, and I want you to be involved in it too. So thinking of connections and networks in a way that can benefit yourself, and in a way, first of all, before you do that, think of how you can benefit others. And it's just a great synergy that really works to enrich your life. And it also enriches other people's lives for sure, because they get to try things through you.
Yeah. I love it how you mentioned that it's actually when you ask someone for to share a story or you post, you offer something them. So it's not like you. It's nice that you don't see people like as a source of advertisement, but you also offer something to them. And as you said, if you give them something, then you can expect something back. That's very cool.
And it's not always like, oh, like reshare for reshare. It's not always that way. You have to like be sensitive and feel how the person is really feeling about it. Like, do they want to do it? Do they not want to do it? So it's more delicate, but at the same time, we are humans and we are connected and we can communicate with each other to learn those things about each other.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean like in general. So you don't look at someone as a source, like, like, hey, just share and that's it.
But that's like it's a one-time thing. You want to build relationship that will continue growing and flourishing. Yeah.
I think what also happens once you get involved with someone, like you can ask once, but then the second time, this person, because like they would follow you and they would genuinely love what you do, or like genuinely be like interested in something, or they just appreciate the work that you're putting into that. And I think the second time or the third time, they can actually share that just because they have, like I love this post, and someone will just share just because they like it, or like they have this energy.
My key takeaway from what you just said is that I feel like how to know if you're ready to start your own page, like from what you said, what I understood, and it actually really empowers me right now. It's like when you're ready to build a network in real life, this is when you're ready to build your network online. Because what you made me realize that actually your followers are your network. And when you're ready to get into in contact with other people who are strangers, or even not strangers, like even people you know, but you don't know them that much, when you're ready like to expand your network, this is when you're ready to start your page.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're scared to tell what you think online. It means you're scared to say it in real life as well.
And I think to me, it's always, I really look at people as people as they are, but also potential clients, and someone who will never be my client, but they can send me so many likes and like reactions and all of that stuff, and I'll feel like they give me so much energy and so much attention and so much love, and I will definitely be, responding to them, sending stuff to them, like responding to their questions, sometimes taking like real time to, react to their situation, maybe give them an advice or give them a recommendation, send them like a link or a video or a book and things like that. And so it doesn't really matter what specifically in facts comes out of it, just do it because you want to do it. And you want to do it through other people. Always remember that it's only going to happen through other people.
Nice. Krystyna, thank you so much for joining us today. I love that you're our first guest. I was very excited, and I think it turned out amazing. Of course. So please follow Krystyna. Please follow Krystyna. She posts a lot of stuff, a lot of helpful stuff, a lot of information. So you can learn a lot for free, or you can join her one-on-one counseling or group sessions as well. We're going to tag her in everything that we're going to post. Everywhere. So yes, feel free to follow, to like, to share. And thank you so much for coming today.
Let's
expand our network, everyone. So follow us everywhere as well. Please put some likes, comment everything you want that you think about what we were talking about today, how to start doing your Instagram account, how to turn your hobby into something where you can be financially supporting of yourself. And please also follow our small Instagram page and help us grow. And we're going to finally build that fantastic society / community of women who really like what we do.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was wonderful to be here. Love you both.
Thank you so much. Like I'm very grateful that you're our first guest and that you're actually here and you took your time and energy and put so much value to what we were talking about today.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bravo,